Welcome once again to the Party of One podcast, the actual play RPG podcast where the gaming table is always set for two. I'm your host as always, Jeff Stormer, and this week on the show, I am joined by country singer and game designer Steph Beck for a game of Ollie Jeffries' Clicks and Hums and Sirens and the Sun. Clicks and Hums and Sirens and the Sun is a beautiful and heart-wrenching game about revisiting and remixing the highs and lows of a relationship after it has ended. Set at a giant British house party, the game skips back and forth between past and present as we see two people fall in and out of love. We see them at their best and we see them at their worst, and as we explore each memory and we hear the DJ ripping through their set list, we remix the past and we see what could have been done differently to see if we can't find a better way forward. It is an amazing game. I really, really love it. I'm not 100% sure if it's available for sale. I've been talking to Ollie, and the game should be available sometime in the near future if it's not available right now. Either way, you should go to sinisterbeard.itch.io. You can either pick up Clicks and Hums and Sirens and the Sun, or if it's not there, you can pick up Quietus, which we've played before on the show, and is a hauntingly good horror game that I can't recommend enough. Either way, you're going to be pretty happy. You can find more information in the show notes. Like I said at the top of the episode, Steph is a country musician. Steph is a game designer. You can find their games at garlicbreadandroses.itch.io. You can find their music at garlicbreadandroses.bandcamp.com. Either way, they are someone that makes a lot of cool stuff that I like. They make a lot of art that I enjoy, and I really can't recommend you look up their work enough because it's extremely good, to put it frankly. You can find more information about all of Steph's work in the show notes. Anyway, two quick notes before we dive in. First, there are a few content warnings on this episode that I wanted to break down before we dive in. This episode includes references to drug and alcohol use, to intoxication, references to homelessness, and in a sort of broader sense, like I said in the description of the game, we are watching the death of a relationship. You are going to hear characters be hurtful, you're going to hear verbal arguments, you're going to hear characters cheat on one another. Obviously, listener discretion is advised. Know that there were safety tools in play. We discussed them on the episode. Everything that happens was agreed upon between both players, but I wanted to make you aware just in case any of that content was something that you might not want to be hearing right now. Secondly, on a more fun note, thank you so much to Abe Mendez, to Casey, and to DS, our latest backers on Patreon. Thank you for supporting the show and helping to create all of the cool, fun stuff that I make. Patreon backers get early access to Party of One episodes as well as raw audio of recordings if you want to hear me stumble over my words. They also get access to the text of games that I'm writing before I release them, as well as probably starting in March like bonus content. I haven't fully figured out what that's going to look like yet. I did just release a long conversation with Eric Silver from Join the Party. Just like talking about the art of making actual play for like an hour. It's like a good recording. You can go listen to that. So go find the Patreon at patreon.com/JeffStormer for more information. And now, with all that said, let's go ahead and throw it over to me in the past so that he can get started with the show. Take it past me. Thanks, future me. This week, I am so excited to be sitting down with my good friend, Steph Beck. Steph, thank you so much for coming on Party of One.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
So real quick, at the top of the show, before we get into this game that I've been really looking forward to all day, why don't you take a moment and let the lovely listeners at home know about anything you've got going on that you might want the audience at home to know about?
Yeah. So I have, first I make games, just like small story games, like the kind of, sad things that we play here. And, it's garlicbreadandroses.itch.io. That's my page for that. And I also write sad gay country songs, and also less sad, slightly less gay country songs about killing cops. And you can find those at garlicbreadandroses.bandcamp.com. And my Twitter is Gojnana, which is, so it's at GOOJNANAA. And my Cash App is the same. Hit me up. Yeah.
Speaking of games that you've written, we did play one of them on the show. I had to pull up my schedule sheet to confirm that by the time this has gone out, that episode will drop. I've confirmed that. You can hear one of Steph's games. Something Happened and the Lights Went Out. We played that back in November. It was a beautiful, it was an experience that was really perfect. Really, I cannot enough talk about how good that experience of playing that game was. It really, it was painful and emotional in all the ways that I wanted it to be painful and emotional. It was fantastic.
I'm so glad to hear that because, like, honestly, I did not play test that game when I was writing it. So I'm really, you are, as far as I know, like the first people to play it, and I am just like really honored.
I will claim that honor, and I will hold it with pride. And I'm glad because that game was amazing, and I loved getting to play it. It was fantastic. All right, so let's get into today's game because we are playing one that I've been really like. I read it, and then like it really just kind of stuck in my head, and all day today I've been like, oh, I'm gonna get to play this game, and I'm gonna have it in front of me because I've been getting the title wrong every time I say it in my head. So we are playing Clicks and Hums and Sirens and the Sun by friend of the show Ollie Jeffrey. It is. I'm just gonna read the intro because it's really beautiful, and I feel like it hits everything that the game is, and I feel like I'm really excited. The party. It is the middle of September, which means the party is coming up. Nobody needs any more details than that. They can hear the bold type when you say it. Everybody's there because the girl that's hosting knows everyone. She drops names like carpet bombs. She knows you, and she knew your love. You met your love at the party 2 years ago. It was funny as often as it was brilliant. At the end of the night, you knew you were going to know them forever. You broke up at last year's party. It was awkward as often as it was horrible. You wonder if you knew them at all. And now you're here again. You wonder if you'll see your love. You haven't yet. But as the clicks and hums and sirens pumping from the sound system and the ridiculously huge garden flow through your body, you see them everywhere. There's where you met. There's where you lay underneath them with your fingers in the dirt. There's where your stomach dropped and you felt worse than when S Club 7 broke up because you knew that was it. The DJ won't leave tracks that she's playing alone. She keeps remixing them as she goes, technology overtaking music, and sometimes you wish you could remix your life. And tonight, you can. Fuck yeah. So excited.
Yeah, this is... it is one of my favorite games that I rarely get the chance to play. I played it once, and, like, we never chose to remix any scenes. So, like, that is a feature of the game that I still have not figured out how to use, and I love the S Club 7 thing. I love how aggressively British this game is.
It's a good line.
Yeah.
All right, so this is a storytelling game about... heavily edited. Here we go. So this is a storytelling game for two people. It is about lost love, reconciliation, and house music. I have 7 6-sided dice in front of me. One of us will take on the role of the guest, and the other will take on the role of their love, who appears in the guest's memory as they reminisce in the midst of dancing throng of people. Would you like to be the guest or their great love?
I think I would like to be the love. Yeah, because this game does kind of the same thing that Starcross does, where, like, you have mechanical tops and bottoms, and I love that.
I do dig that. That's a great... It's a great way of, like, establishing narrative, like, beats and really, like, emphasizing play style in, like, a really specific and interesting way, and it works really well, especially in a 2-player format. Great. So once we know which role we're going to play... we are going to individually come up with a name for a character, decide how they look, their favorite album, their all-time favorite album that you have to hear right now, how they feel about The Force Awakens, anything that will help you get a grip on how you play them. We will not tell this to each other. We will have it come out in play. We assume that the players are attracted to each other, even if we assume that is part of the game. We were in love at some point. The game is going to take place over 8 hours between the dusk and dawn on a warm September evening. And the other important thing, we are set in a big-ass house with a ludicrously oversized garden. Think very can't hardly wait is the aesthetic that I get reading through the game, right? Like that my parents' house that is larger and more elaborate than it could possibly be otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, there's definitely, like, a lot of, like, house raves, I'm told anyway, in, like, big cities in Britain, and this is, like, a thing, capital T thing, and I don't know what these look like, but yes, Can't Hardly Wait is exactly the reference point that I would have given. If
in reading this, it's what I picture is that, like, big giant party space. So throughout the night, we are going to... you were saying something.
Yeah, no, I was just going to say, like, another thing I wanted to add earlier in the general discussion of the game that I meant to say and did not say because I got sidetracked by the volume thing was just that in the time between me suggesting we play this game and recording, I've been through 2 breakups, so I feel more ready than ever.
Oh my god, I'm sorry to hear that, but I hope that it at least makes play cathartic because breakups suck.
Yeah. But I just wanted that noted somewhere.
I appreciate that. I appreciate you letting me know that because I feel like that's going to add a layer to the game that I'm saying I'm excited about it sounds awful, but I'm gonna stick with it.
No, I believe me, I know exactly the feeling. Feel like I am excited for this weird, emotionally complicated story game.
Exactly.
Thing. It's what we do.
So what's going to happen is we're going to play through 8 scenes from our relationship, 1 for each hour that we are at the party, and we will improvise those scenes. They will be divided into the highs and the lows. After each scene, we will decide if we want to remix the night. We can trigger plugins and replay through the scene with a new set of complications, hopefully coming out with a better outcome, or at least one that we can be at peace with. So, one last thing to cover is that this is a game for adults. It talks, albeit mostly pretty obliquely, about sex, drugs, and emotional distress. If any of that makes either of us feel uncomfortable, we don't have to play. We have talked through our lines and veils. We have safety tools in play. We are using, cut and break verbal cues to let us know that we are comfortable and we're continuing play. So even if this gets emotionally intense, listener and staff, we've got safety tools. We can always stop. We can always take a break as needed. Our safety is more important than that of the game.
Right on.
And so let's go ahead and dive into, should we talk about complications or should we just dive into our first scene and explain it as we go?
I think maybe giving a brief overview of the categories and reading off the little quotes and then rolling and defining things in more detail.
That makes sense. All right, so each time we start a scene, we're going to roll 7 dice and we're going to set up some complications. The way that we're going to do that is each number represents one of the following complications. Fuck-uppedness. I used you as a surface, did a line across your face. Other people. A girl whose mum is friends with Elton John, so she kept telling us. Regret. The time has already gone when people were just people, not the jobs that they perform. Sex. I knew you back when love was just a feeling that ran out between my legs. Belief. When I was a child, I was expected to believe in something up above that no one touches or can see. Or atmosphere, clicks and hums and sirens and the sun. So I'm going to roll these 7 dice at the start of each scene, and we're going to assign, and based on the numbers that we roll, we're going to pull some complications and kind of lay them out. We will explain what those complications are once we meet the scene, and then we'll kind of play it out from there. Does that make sense? Do you have any questions, or are we ready for our first scene?
I'm ready to go.
All right. Our first scene is the meet cute. It is the first time that we've ever met. We've never talked before this moment. We maybe have seen each other around. We'll kind of go off of, we'll kind of figure that out and play. We're each going to want to find a reason to start talking. Depending, the complications may inform that, or we might just decide it from the scene. And each scene also has a goal. The goal by the end of the scene is that we should be definitively interested and attracted to one another. So with that, I'm going to roll some dice. And that'll give us our complications. So I've rolled 7d6. I have 2 1s. 3 1s. I have 3 1s, a 2, 2 5s, and a 6. So why don't we take turns reading off those complications. I will start at 1, and then we'll just work our way down the list. So 3 1s as a complication means means we are fucked up too much, feel sick, hang on, hold my hair back. So it's been a long, raucous party, and we have been imbibing judiciously.
Yeah, at least one of us is probably not having the best time to start off. Atmosphere. So 1 2 means good tunes, room to dance.
So we've got 2 5s. fives is regret, which means one of us is going to say, one or both of us is going to say something awful.
And 1-6, 6 is sex, and 1-6 means not feeling it, which
I feel like that tracks, because I was going to lightly invoke or add a line to this, which is, I think, if I don't want to lean too far into one or two like drunk people like push like that feels a little iffy to me. So I think I have a good start that would like I think address that by pulling together a few of these strings
for sure. And I'm definitely like I don't know, as a former addict, recovering addict, I don't know. I like, it's not serious enough to like veil, but I do like kind of tread lightly with like intoxication in role playing.
Yeah.
Like, so like, yeah, that is something I wouldn't have even like considered on the table.
Good. That I appreciate the safety conversations. I think they've got us in a good place. I think that I would like to open, because there's a few threads that I think I can pull on, between saying something awful, between like straight up not feeling it and having way too much to drink. I would like to propose that like this is maybe not like while one of us is severely inebriated. Maybe this is slightly after, and like what has happened is one of us has felt sick and had to say, hang on, hold my hair back, and now is getting an emergency ride home. Or like is like in like is officially hung over after going too hard at a party.
Like meet outside while you're like vomiting in the bushes, or even like you've been laying on the ground or something after vomiting in the bushes.
Oh, that's a very good. If one of us finds the other like laying down after puking their guts out, if that is our meet cute, that's very good.
Yeah, no, I really like that. It's like a flashback, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think it starts. Would you like to be laying on the dirt, or should I be laying on the dirt?
No, I'm extremely down to be laying in the dirt. I have a very clear idea of who this character is going in, I think. And just based on the favorite album that I picked. And I feel like they're definitely the person who gets way too drunk too quickly at parties.
Okay, I feel that. So I think I am breaking away from the group, and I for a split second thought about the favorite album, and I also know this character very well, and I don't like them, but I know them very well. So I think that they've broken away, and like there's like not shouting coming from the party, but there is clearly the sounds of like people getting very heated, but like in a friendly sort of way, like echoing from the party itself.
Yeah. My
character, solo cup in hand, is like walking away, hand up, like, okay, breathe, it's fine, we're all friends, we're just having a discussion, it's just a talk, it's fine.
What does your character look like?
They are, t-shirt and blazer, lanky t-shirt and blazer, kind of hair that like, I'd say kind of a buzz cut, lanky t-shirt, blazer, like high or rolled cuffed jeans, Chuck Taylor boots, you know, the mid-length Chuck Taylor boot.
I do.
That's what they look like. They have a lip ring, a tiny scar on one of their eyebrows, and glasses that look like they might be cosmetic.
Hella.
And I think I find you. I think I literally almost trip over your ankle. Because I'm so in my head being like, nope, it's fine, that I almost like do that, like, catch my foot
Hey,
under your ankle and just, like, almost, and then do the very classic, like, dum, I'm good, I'm just looking like I'm walking. I'm just looking like I'm walking before I come back around to, like, check in on you.
hey, what the fuck, fam? Watch where you're going. And, so my character, you look down and my character is, definitely has just like a flat, like matte black Hot Topic dye mullet. And is wearing, God, what's some like tourist shit that you would pick up in Britain? It's it's a Viper Megaton Barbie t-shirt. And like it's clearly already a little dirty, and like fucking, oh, you know what, we have the same Chuck Taylor boots.
I think that's what brings me back around, is initially I'm like, I'm fine. And I kind of spin on my heels a little bit. And in that very, very try hard way, I'm like, nice shoes.
Thanks. Have you seen my hat?
Is yes but an acceptable answer?
That really depends.
Yes, I see it, but no, you're not going to want to pick it up and take it back. That hat might be lost.
Yeah, and I definitely look over, and it is, for the record, an Insane Clown Posse snapback.
Oh, sure.
And I'm just like, fuck, man. Every fucking time. Can't go anywhere without having to buy a new fucking hat.
That seems like a really specific hat to have to buy again and again.
Yeah, well, and you know, they have the constant fucking merch rotation, so it's like, they're not easy to find anymore.
Yeah.
I'm also audibly American, which is...
I am as well, which I think is like something that I think we both immediately pick up on, and like...
Yeah, because this is like such a British game. I feel like it's noteworthy if our characters are American.
Yeah, and I think I catch that, and I pause for a second. I'm like, what accent is that? Is that? I mean, specifically, like, not like, I realize it's a big country, but like specifically.
Fucking SoCal, fam.
SoCal, okay. Yeah, I was gonna say Pittsburgh, but I feel like those are very different accents. I don't know why I was gonna say Pittsburgh, but I was gonna say Pittsburgh.
I don't know, I've been a lot of places.
Well, your voice conveys it. Oh my god, why did I? Oh no, God.
And you? Where are you from?
Oh, like Mid-Ohio? That's why it sounds like I'm from nowhere.
Yo, Midwest, fam. They got fucking Fago out there. That's all I know about the place.
That's technically true. Yeah, I guess. Hey, are you okay?
Quite possibly. What level of okay is okay?
I guess I'm defining okay as, I need to, like, call somebody.
I mean, I don't think I'm drunk anymore. I don't think.
Okay.
I was out a little, but I'm good. I'm good.
Okay.
I'm good.
Then the answer is yes, and I'm fine with that. On account of you being laying on the floor in the dirt, and your hat being covered in, I'm not even sure what.
Yeah, and I think at this point she kind of pulls herself up, or I kind of pull myself up, and I'm actually moving to standing.
And I think I offer you a hand, but I offer it way too late. Like, it takes me a minute. And oh yeah, here, and but you're already on your feet.
Thanks, I appreciate it.
So, it's obvious to ask, like, why you're here, right?
I mean,
That's like a weird intrusion. That. Hold on. Let me. Not while you're here. Not in a. Not in a. Not in a. Not in a like. What are you doing here kind of way, but in like a. Not in like a where you hear in this party way, but in a, I guess. You think?
yeah. No, you're good, fam. I'm literally just chilling. I'm just vibing, you know? I'm just like, I don't know. My ex was like on some study abroad shit, and I kind of tagged along, and she's probably back in SoCal, but I'm just vibing, I'm chilling, I'm booling.
Just vibing. Okay, I like that. I like that. I am not. I'm not that. I was gonna say I was, and I don't know why I was gonna say I was, but I'm not. I'm doing the study abroad thing. I don't know why I was gonna be like, I'm just here vibing too, because like I'm here for a really specific reason. So I don't know why I was gonna. It's, you know what? I'm talking too much.
You seem really worried all the time. Are you worried all the time?
Literally every minute of every day.
What's up?
I don't know. Everything. Well, and in this case, on this day, I got into a really angry argument. Not angry. I think we're all still friends. Words were said because people tried to claim, very erroneously, I might add, that...
I don't know what that means.
Very wrongly, that...
Word.
That Weezer's Pinkerton is not their best album, and that like it somehow makes it bad that Rivers Cuomo is going through some things that is weird and creepy on that album, that somehow invalidates it, which I would argue it very much does not.
Weezer's like a rock band, yeah?
Yeah. They're like an older rock band. It's
so like I don't listen to like that kind of music a ton, I'm gonna be real. But like I take your word on it, like that's totally their best album. I believe you.
Thank you. That is literally all I needed someone to say. Literally verbatim. I just needed somebody to say I take your word for it, and people would not take my word for it.
Hell yeah. And I like kind of pat you on the arm. And like as I like pull my hand back, you can see that I've like shittily like stick and poked a spiral on it.
I think like in that moment I kind of I freeze up and I'm like, you probably need water. I'm gonna go get us a couple bottles of water. Wait here. I'll be back in as long as it takes to get some water. And
yeah, sure. I'm not going anywhere.
Freeze up and like stiff as a board, like power walk out of the area.
Cute. And is that the scene?
I think that's scene.
Hella.
For the record, Pinkerton sucks.
Like out of character, I really like that album, but I don't feel good about liking that album.
I do think it does invalidate a lot of it that Rivers Cuomo is a creep, but I don't think that my character thinks that, and that's important.
Okay,
that was an important thing I needed to suss out.
Did you see the thing he put up on Facebook where he was like, I'm really tired of people saying I only write songs fetishizing Asian women, and then he posted like a breakdown of like the races of the women in the songs that he wrote about?
I did not. That makes it way worse, is the thing.
Yeah, no, it's pretty fucking bad.
Wow.
Yeah, no one will ever say that Rivers Cuomo is insincere or not transparent.
That's fair. No, that's fair. All right.
No one will accuse him of being mysterious with the public.
This is true. Perhaps maybe he should consider it.
He should.
All right. So the question is, do we want to remix that scene?
I think because this is supposed to be your memory, that is primarily your decision, but I will say that I'm chill.
I think I'm good with that
vibing.
scene. I feel like it worked okay.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that. I'm okay. As a meet cute goes, I'm pretty okay with it, and I'm ready to segue in to our next scene, which is falling in love. Love is a strong word, but over the course of this scene, we should at least come to the conclusion that we are fucking rad.
Well, I already know I'm fucking rad.
I know I'm rad. It's just a matter of conveying that to you.
Hell yeah.
So where do we think this scene is set?
Oh, I think like you come back out and so okay, what I'm picturing is the camera like follows you into the party, through the party, and you're waiting in all the like drink like line for drinks or whatever. Mm-hmm. Not that a line, but you know the kind of blob that people wait in at parties.
Yeah.
And like you get back out and I'm not there, and then like I think there's a moment where you kind of like you're looking around for me, and then I tap you on the shoulder from like I've come out of the party behind you.
I am so startled, like completely and utterly.
Hey, chill, it's good.
I think I see you, and I relax for a minute, and I kind of like hand you the bottle of water, and I'm like, I also got a third one just in case we needed it. I figured better to overhydrate after dehydrating.
Yeah, for sure. I've definitely had friends who died that way. And then, like, I just drink the whole, like, bottle of water just in one gulp.
All right, number 2, here you go.
Same thing.
And, I like, go to hand you number 3, and then I crack it and start to, like, meekly drink it. And I think I stop, and I'm like, and as, like, I find us, like, some spots to sit. And I'm like, we should roll some complications.
Oh, yeah, we sure should do that. Also, thing that I meant to ask in your, like, character description, is your character more, like, male presenting, more, like, femme? Like, what kind of vibe am I imagining here?
Androgynous, but leaning towards masculine.
Legit. Yeah. Definitely just lesbian trash boy over here.
That's fair. And then, they, he pronouns.
Oh, yeah, for sure. She, her, and white if the juggalo shit didn't give it away.
Fair. So, the numbers that I have rolled, and I'll put these in the Zoom chat. I've got 1, 1, 1. I'm sensing a theme. 3, 3, 5, and 6. Would you like to read the first complication? And then we'll go back and forth in the opposite way.
Okay, so start at 6?
Yeah.
All right. So 1, 6, as we've established, means that you're not feeling sex.
1, 5 means that someone is going to say something stupid.
I don't know, more stupid than the Pinkerton thing?
Apparently.
Yeah, 3 3s means, 3 3s, 2 3s. Sorry. Yeah, 2 3s. 3 is other people, and 2 3s is an irritating asshole has taken an interest in you. Other than me, I assume.
Other than both of us. And 3 1s is still too much, feel sick, hang on, hold my hair back. So I think what happens is, like, I hand you the second bottle. I start to drink my bottle of water, and my friend Mark comes, does a running stinger splash, is the only way to describe it, grabs me by the shoulders, and is like, no, we gotta hash this out. We are not done having this conversation.
Hey. And I just kind of put I'm just like petting Mark, like on the nose, like a scared horse. I'm like, hey man, you're chill. You just settle down. Just settle down.
No, you don't. Okay, look, you weren't there, so I'm gonna ask that you step back. Me and Chaz, we gotta talk this out.
I'm gonna be real, Mark. I like Chaz and I. We were having kind of a nice moment when you like charged in here, and I'm not trying to like get between you or like take sides in this beef or whatever, but like step off my Kool-Aid, man.
And I think Mark like stares at you completely blank faced, and like Chaz steps up and is like,
Is Mark British?
I think Mark is British. I'm not gonna try a British accent.
Yeah, no, God, no.
But I think Mark is British. But I think Chaz steps up, or I step up, and I'm like, that means leave, Mark. Mark, that means leave. Look, I'm gonna say something that I'm gonna regret. Mark, you're right. Pork and beans is hilarious. Be on your way. Mark looks very, very satisfied, crosses his arms and is like, thank you, and like storms off.
My IRL opinion is that pork and beans is hilarious.
It is hilarious. It's not that was not a Chaz opinion. Mark is right. And I kind of, I think at that, my shoulders finally, like, sag a little bit, and I think it is apparent by every part of my posture that Chaz just does not like any kind of confrontation. And so the second that in their eyes the friendship has been mended, they kind of relax, and they immediately, or I look at you and I'm like, wait, were we having a moment?
I mean, I kind of hoped we were, but like, didn't seem like we had time to get there.
No, oh my god, that feels like such a shoot down question. I am so sorry. No, I meant like, I thought we were having a moment, but like, I don't ever want to be like the person to be like, I think we're having a moment, and like, cause you know, obviously, but like, okay.
Yeah, no, bottoms, I understand.
Sure. Chaz, beat red. Just beat red.
Hey, you're doing okay. And I kind of take your water from you and then hand it back to you.
Water, thank you. And I down the entire bottle of water, but it is not as seamless as it was with you. Water is getting everywhere. Water splashing on my face, and frankly, it's well needed. But like, I finally am like, okay, we were having a moment. Where were we?
I don't know. You were talking about like a band, I think.
Oh yeah, I don't care about that anymore. That's old news. So, Southern California.
Yeah. Much like Arizona. No. Yeah, Southern California. It's real hot, and I'm kind of glad I'm not there anymore. But like, you know, you just kind of go where you go.
Yeah. No, I get that. I mean, I don't like. I've never gone anywhere out not for a reason. But that does sound nice. Just kind of vibing. Just sounds fun.
Well, I mean, like, you came here, right?
Oh, yeah, but I kind of, and I think I know exactly what happens. The remainder of Chaz's like, or a stack of Quizzo cards falls out of Chaz's like pocket, and it is apparent that he has been brought here under false pretenses. And he thought that they were going to be running Quizzo.
Yeah. I think, yeah, no, I just bust out laughing. I think that is an extremely in character response.
I think it is, and I think I laugh at
cute.
that.
That's cute.
Thank you for laughing, because it makes this feel less of an existential dread. Let me just pick these up. And I picked
You don't go to a lot of parties, do you?
Oh, no. What was your first clue? Was it the suit, coat, and t-shirt combo? Which, in retrospect, terrible decision. Was it the Quizzo cards? Was what here was your clue that something was amiss about my presence at this party?
I don't know. We're in like Britain or whatever. People dress fancy, right?
I guess that's true.
I haven't been here very long.
And I laugh, and I'm like, yeah. Would is it bad that I've been here for 6 months, and this is still my whole deal?
I don't know. I think whatever your deal is, it's fine. I think you're good.
And my shoulders sink a little further, and I'm like, do you want to know? And I look at my stack of cards, who the world leader in home runs is?
Gosh, I sure don't, but tell me anyway.
I don't know why I picked a piece of trivia that I have no idea. It's Barry Bonds. I figured I had to get at least one person to answer one of these questions, or else like I would never live down bringing these cards. So thank you. You have fulfilled my one and only purpose for being here. So now we can just like
baseball, yeah?
Yes, it is. I mean, yes, it is. It's not my forte. I'm gonna be honest with you. I Googled that. It could be wrong.
I believe it. Look, I kind of like grab your hand and I'm like, you want to go dance?
I so do. And I did not know how to broach the subject. And I think that might be seen.
Yeah, okay. I really like the idea that the scene ends with like it's the two of us running into the party, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like in the past, and then like present you walks out of the party in the future.
Mm-hmm. I love that. That's beautiful. And like the scene is the same, like it's the same kind of like empty hallway, and I'm just standing and looking among it.
Yeah. The opposite of chillin'.
The opposite of chillin'. I would love to. I'm trying to decide. I don't think I want to remix this either. I'm trying to decide. Would you like to remix this?
I think I'm good.
I think I'm good as well. All right, which brings us to the next scene, which I think is going to be pretty short, which is first contact, which is when we get physical for the first time.
Ooh, I have an idea for this.
Yes, please.
Yeah. So like, okay. So you in the future, like you step outside, you take like a sip of your beer, and you're like, you're still wearing the same fucking suit jacket. The t-shirt's like a dress shirt now. You got more formal rather than less.
Yep.
But you look, just more tired than you did. And like you look down, and
the glasses are very obviously now prescription as opposed to before, and they were a cosmetic choice.
Yeah. And you drink your beer, and the camera shows a spiral sticking poked on your hand. And you walk back into the party, and it cuts to us in the past at like dancing.
I like that. And I think like, I feel like I'm going to roll the complications, but I feel like the scene might just be us dancing and slowly, like as this might be a very brief montage of like us dancing and slowly transitioning into like making out.
Yeah, and I am definitely going to offer to give you a stick and poke. That's where this is going.
For sure. So the numbers that I have rolled, the complications for our beautiful dance montage are 1, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4, and 6. So 1 is we're basically almost sober. I like that. And I think we are dancing in a way that like I think that kind of is reflected by like we're dancing in a way that starts out kind of like sloppy but like it slowly becomes more intentional, right? Like almost as as like we start to get into it, it becomes like a more intentional dance.
Hell yeah. And 2 is atmosphere, good tunes, room to dance. They're probably like playing a remix of some like 90s hip hop song that I like actually recognize, and I'm like really excited, and I'm like actually like into the music for a bit.
So two threes is an irritating asshole is taking an interest in you. What this is we almost have our first kiss. We almost go in for the kiss. And then like the camera does that thing where like we are kind of spinning a little bit. We almost go in for the kiss. The camera stays static as we move slightly out of frame and the camera changes focus and Mark is there like fist pumping like, yeah. And I have to be like, Mark, go.
Yeah. I like, okay. So I think like you try talking to Mark and there's a second where I'm just like pulling you, like towards the stairs to the second floor. Just like away from Mark broadly, and then we kind of like trip onto the stairs. And 4 is a belief. You're refusing to back down from something. And that doesn't have to be something we do right this second, but I do like...
I almost like that paired with 6, which is 1/6 is just not feeling it, and this is definitely a remix moment. You are pulling me towards the stairs. And, like, I think you say the stick and poke line.
Mm-hmm.
And I, like, break away to, like, tell Mark off. And be like, get away. Like, we're going. Like, and, like, it's... I think at the end, I do, like, it takes a moment, but I do come and follow you. But it's such an obvious and weird... It's such an obvious and weird moment of, like, taking a stand when one does not need to be taken.
Yeah.
That, like, I think it flashes back to me in the present, and I'm like, why? Why did I not just go? Why did I...
Oof. That's real.
And I think that's going to be my remix moment, which means we get to talk through remixing. So we've played through
We've
played through the scene, which means we can now remix it. Which means we play it again, but picking and choosing dice to trigger plugins to change how the scene goes. The first playthrough is how it really went. The remix is how I wish it went, inspired by the effects that the DJ is dropping as we dance at this year's party, lost in my memories. So what I get to do here is we play through the scene again, but at any point I can take a die from, or either of us can take a die from the pool. This has 2 effects. Firstly, removing the die implicitly changes the complications. Suddenly, the actual beautiful, charming person seems like an asshole, or maybe you go from having to have your hair held back or to having a good time. We also trigger a plugin. The plugins are numbered 1 through 6. Taking a plugin corresponding to the number means that plugin is triggered. So I'm going to pull a 4. I think we play through the scene. Okay. We're dancing. We have that almost first kiss, but or rather, I'm pulling a 3 because I want to take Mark out of that scene.
Okay.
I think we pan over and Mark just isn't there. Instead, it's just good people all around, right? Like maybe we briefly see Mark and instead he's like dancing with somebody.
Hell yeah.
Which means that there's going to be distortion. DJ hits the overdrive, everything gets a little manic. So I'm going to roll this dice. I rolled a 2. On a 2 through 6, increase that number of dice by 1 each. This is not great. None of these are options that I love. I'm going to change one of these 4s to a 5. And I'm going to change this 1 to a 2. So instead, the numbers that we have are 3 2s, a 3, a 4, a 5, and a 6. So 3 2s is it's crushingly busy. We keep getting barged into. A 5 is that I say something stupid, and I think I say, it's pretty busy on this dance floor. Do you want to get out of here?
Yeah, it seems nice. Do you have any tattoos?
No. I read The Illustrated Man when I was 15, and I got really uncomfortable with the idea of tattoos coming to life, so no. Present me crushes my beer cup. I'm like, not even in my fantasy am I allowed to not be a fucking weirdo.
With the hand that had the tattoo on it.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Hell yeah. Like I love that cut.
And so, would you like to remix any part of the scene?
I think I'm okay. Yeah, I think I'm good on this one. Mark was the only thing that I was like,
Cool.
yeah, and like we kind of already agreed we were doing that one.
Cool. So then we now cut to the end of the night. Go out into the garden, the birds are singing, the DJ plays her last tune, we can already feel the hangover coming. We leave the party together and certainly as a couple. If one isn't sleeping at the other's place tonight, they will at least have exchanged numbers, followed each other on Instagram, and agreed to meet at this brilliant Greasy Spoon. They both know at 11:30ish, maybe 12:30ish, hangover dependent tomorrow. This is the happy ending, at least for now, before it all kind of goes to shit. What does goodbye look like?
Honestly, like, I'm like, I think like you start heading out, right? And I'm like, hey, where you going?
I think at this point we've probably been making out for like a while. And like, I think what has happened. I'm gonna roll some complications. Because I like that as a good, like, that is a very good kind of cliffhanger to find out our complications is like, we've been making out for a while,
oh, yeah.
and now I am about to leave, and you're like, why are you trying to leave?
Yeah, like, everything okay?
So, I've rolled 1-1, 1-3, 3 4s, and 2 5s.
Oof.
So 1 is we've got a little buzz on, but we're basically almost sober.
Mm-hmm.
3 is good people all around. 3 4s is that you are offended and they're going to know about it.
Oof.
And 2 5s is you say something awful.
Oof.
Not great. Probably gonna remix this one.
Oof. Yeah. I think, okay. I feel like I should get to say something awful because you did it last time. I'm trying to think what we can play to find out. Just like, yeah, I definitely feel like whatever it is, it's going to be something I said.
Mm-hmm. I think I stammer for a minute and like I give you like 3 half excuses, right? Like, well, I got class and I have to, my friend who's a ride, and I really like you and I wanted to leave before I embarrassed myself or did something to fuck this up.
Aw. That's cute, but that's dumb as fuck.
No, that's fair.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't like have anywhere to be after this, right? Like, do you want to like go somewhere?
I take a long time to answer, which I think we see present me like we kind of see present me like right over past me's shoulder. And like, I am just, you can't hear me in the present in this moment, but like, I am flailing my arms and screaming, and you see me mouthing the word, yes, 100% yes. And like, I'm taking like an unintentionally, but like an insultingly long time to answer before going like, I could go.
Yeah, word. If you're not, I think like, oh, you know what it is? I take the long wait and then the like really like hesitant tone. I think I take that really badly. And this is the awful thing I say. And I'm like, dude, if you don't want to fuck, just say it.
Oh, fuck. That was both my reaction and Chaz's. And I think that Chaz in that moment, present Chaz is just like head in hands, like when finally like I think I do a full spit take in the past, like no, I very much do. I very much want that. That sounds fantastic. I'm up in my head. I should be there. Yeah, that sounds great. Fuck. Yeah, sounds great.
Also, okay, wait, what were the other complications for this scene?
You are offended and they're going to know about it, and you say something awful. And then we're sober enough that we're feeling good, and then Good people all around.
Yeah. Yeah, and I'm definitely like, cool. And then there's a pause. I'm like, can we go back to wherever you're at? Because I'm like, I don't really have a place to go.
Yeah, we can go to my place. That's for sure. And I think the closing note of the scene is like a brief montage. Good people all around. I like throw open the door, and my 3 roommates are there.
Is Mark one of them?
Mark is one of them. Mark is passed out on the couch, and the other 2 are playing probably like N64 Smash. And I'm like, everybody, get the fuck out. And I think the good people is that everybody, all 3 roommates look over. They quietly pause the game. They get up. They kind of carry Mark out, like, on both of their shoulders. One of them pats me on the shoulder. They close the door, and they're like, we'll be back in the morning. Like, we see the door close, and it locks, and that is scene.
Hell yeah. Cool.
So what do we want to remix?
I think, like, I don't know, definitely, like, the whole thing about, like, me being, like, not sure how shit's gonna go, and, like...
I desperately want to remix. I'm gonna take out one of these 5s, because I desperately want to remix. Pausing. I'm gonna re-roll this 5, which I believe means that the scene is getting... it's distortion? No, 5 is a filter. The DJ gradually fades out the bass before bringing it crashing back in. So instead of having you say something awful because I have this horrible pause, I say something stupid where like you ask if I want to go somewhere, and I go, oh yeah, absolutely, like literally anywhere. Everywhere. I mean, we can go like, I don't know, upstairs. We can go like out back. You probably want to go to like a place though, right? Like, I don't know that you want to. And like, it's just me rattling off, but I think that like present Chaz is like, it's better.
Yeah, and I think that like, okay, so I'm gonna take a 4
All right.
out of the pool. Yeah, so I take a 4 out of the pool, like, because, like, in this scene, if you are not, like, if I am not, like, upset, then I don't need to be offended, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna roll it. And what effect is a 4?
A 4 is a glitch. Bits of the tune scatter about here and there. Everything's everywhere. On a roll of 2 through 6, pick up that many dice from the complication pool and re-roll them.
Cool. Well, I got a 3. Pick up 3 dice.
All right. I'm picking up this 1 4 and a 3. And instead, there's a 4. I've got a... I rolled a 4, 1, and 3.
Hell yeah. Well, we sure tried.
We tried. I'm gonna roll this 5. On a roll of 2 through 6, we remove this category from complications altogether.
Hello.
So all of the 3s, that's actually, I really like that. All of the 3s are gone.
Mm.
So in this moment, like, you ask if I want to go somewhere, and like in that moment, there's literally no one else.
Aww.
And it's just like you and I, and like the party goes dead silent. And I'm just like, yeah, let's go.
I think that like, so, okay, I'm gonna remove a 5.
Okay.
Just gonna remove the last 5, which is another filter. And I think like after everybody disappears, your whatever your character's version of smooth is.
I love that. Yep, it's like you say, do we want to go somewhere? And I'm like, name the place.
Yeah, I rolled 4.
Oh, that's perfect. Fuck yeah. It's perfect. I think literally like what it is you ask if I want to go anywhere. I don't even say a word. I offer you my arm and like walk you to my car.
Aw, it's so good. And yeah, we're out of the pool if you remove the 1. So like,
yeah. And then so yeah, it's perfect. I Chaz is just watching exactly this perfect scene go down of like these two people having this connection. And for a moment, like everything, it seems almost achievable, right? For a moment, it seems perfect.
Hell yeah.
And then we come into the come down, the negative section of the game.
What did you roll in your one?
Oh, I didn't roll that one at all, did I?
Yo, you said you were gonna, and then
I didn't.
Yeah.
So this is a sample. DJ's dropping a sample from an old classic tune. Roll that one. I rolled a 6. Pick a number, change a number of dice from your complications pool equal to the number you rolled on your plug-in dice to your chosen number.
I feel like this probably doesn't matter on an empty complications pool.
But we've got a 6 on the table now, so...
Hell yeah.
I think...
the last die taken from the pool does not trigger a plugin. It's possible that a plugin such as a gate or filter removes the last die from the complications pool. In that case, the player who triggered that plugin can close the scene using the same guidance.
There we go. So yeah, the scene is exactly like I walk you off, or just it's perfect. It feels exactly right. It's flawless. And then we spin back around, and I there's a moment where I'm actually alone in this giant party, and like, but now it's present. The solitude in the present is crushing.
Like the people slowly fade back in around you,
yeah,
and like the sound gets louder and louder, and you're just looking into the camera like forlorn. So there's also the after the remix bit.
Oh, is there?
The remix phase of a scene ends because all of the plugins were triggered successfully and the last die is removed. The guest comes out of their reverie because they hear a familiar voice nearby. They look up and see their love. They made it to the party after all.
Oh.
And yeah, and so can I do this one?
Yeah, please.
Yeah, so I'm picturing it like you're looking into the camera forlornly, and like the crowd noise is getting louder, and then like one voice like starts getting louder and louder in the mix, and it's me, and I'm just like shooting the shit with somebody, and I'm like kind of like, oh, you know, you hear out of the corner of your ear something like yeah, no, I'm just vibing, you know, I'm just chilling, I'm fooling, and then you look over and it's me talking to, I don't know, some art school girl. Looks a lot like you. And yeah, and then I think you like just walk out of frame, and that's where the scene ends.
Yeah. Oof. We are gonna start the come down. This is the negative section. This is the last year's party where we are going to split.
Cool. Can we, like, before we start the scenes, can we like take a second to like kind of establish like what's happened in the interim year?
Yeah, for sure.
At least like a little bit of that.
Yeah, absolutely. So what has happened? What has happened from your end in the year that has followed?
So when I said I didn't have anywhere to go, I meant that literally. My ex just ditched me.
Ah, got it.
And the thing that you find out later is that I was at this party because I've just been in this house. Just chilling, you know?
That's very good.
Just vibing.
Just vibing.
And, yeah. And I don't know. How do I get on with your roommates? Tell me about your roommates.
So there's Mark. Mark does not like that he cannot get you riled up. Mark does not like that, like, he cannot start an argument with you. He is a fan of arguing.
Mm-hmm.
There is also, and then there is, Max. Max is cordial to you. Doesn't, like, in a way that, like, it's obvious that he doesn't like you,
mm-hmm.
but is cordial. And then, Megan's fine. Megan keeps to herself mostly. Like, she seems to have her own stuff going on. She seems to have she seems pretty busy, so, like, you're not able to get, like, a great read on how she feels about you.
Legit.
I think she mostly kind of sees you as, like, a person around the apartment.
Legit. So one thing that I have to ask about your roommates, are they cute? Like, you kind of...
Max is definitely cute.
Real.
I think they're all different shades of cute. I think it's a very cute assortment. They're all cute in their own way. It just kind of depends on if you like the the spindly arts type, the thick brash and boisterous type, or the what's Megan's type? Like the slightly overly preppy type.
I guess we definitely have established that my character's name is Allison. I sure decided on that, and that never came up in the first thing. I imagine there's like a quick clip of us like waking up the next morning, and then you just kind of being like, wait, what the fuck is your name?
Yeah. Oh, hi, I'm Chaz by the way.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you said that in the first scene, but I'm like, yeah. I love, yeah, like you reintroduce yourself and I just like shake your hand awkwardly and I'm like, hey, Allison, again. And okay, yeah. And I definitely try to get you into the Insane Clown Posse at some point. And it is important to me to know before we start the come down what your character thinks of that.
Oh, Chaz. Chaz does not buy into it. Partially because I don't like Chaz. Chaz does not buy into it. I think Chaz is so distracted by the aesthetic that they just can't get past that. And I think that they go for the easy jokes, I think. In a way that like probably feeds into our arguments in the our arguments as the year goes on, is that like Chaz buys into easy jokes a lot, right? Like it's that kind of I'm really nervous defense mechanism of like I'm gonna buy into the easy. Yeah. If I can fall back on a joke, even if it's not a good joke, I'm gonna fall back on that joke.
Yeah, and I definitely think that like I don't think Allison is articulate enough to like be like, hey, like your shit about like your jokes about juggalos are low-key classist, but I think that is the undercurrent of why
for sure.
of why they make her uncomfortable.
I think that makes total sense. Like I think that tracks. I think Chaz is someone that has not considered that.
Yeah. I have an idea for an argument, but if you want to like I don't know, roll complications, like
let's roll some complications and then we'll go with your idea.
Yeah, and we should read the description of the come down. Did we do that?
Oh yeah, we should. Yes. Where's the come down? The come down is the negative section of the game representing the party last year, where we argue and separate after an unseen downward spiral in their relationship. Complications in the come down are uniformly negative, even when they seem like they should be positive. Find a way to twist everything from the worst. Our first scene is an argument. This is far from our first argument. We're a year into the relationship. Things have been going south for a while. Resentment has been building. If there was a difference that came up lately during the high, we should lean into that and use the complications to inform what we're fighting about. So I'm going to roll some complications. We have a 1, 3 4s, a 5, and a 6.
Ooh, 3 4s is... Yeah.
We keep getting that 3 4s, and this one it's going to hurt real bad. So 1 is that we've got a little bit of a buzz on. 3 4s is that you're offended and they're going to know about it. 5 is saying something stupid, and 6 is not feeling it.
Real. Okay. I think, yeah. Okay. I have an idea if we're ready to start.
Yeah.
Yeah. So after you walk out of frame in the last section, like there's like a few quick clips of everything that's happened in between, and you're like walking through those clips, right? And then the last thing is you walking into your bedroom, and I follow, and I'm carrying in my hands a bottle of rubbing alcohol, a a small thing of black ink and a sewing needle taped to a pencil.
Oh, no.
Yeah. And I'm just like, I'm really excited. I'm like, fucking finally. I've been trying to get you to do this for a year, and you are not.
I really don't want to do this.
I'm like, no. It's going to be great. It's going to be great. Trust me. It's only going to hurt a little bit. It's not nearly as bad as you think.
I know. I mean, it's probably going to hurt pretty bad, though. Like, you're acknowledging that it's going to hurt, though.
Yeah. But it's like, I don't know, it'll look sick when you're done. It'll look like this. And like, I hold up mine and I think, you've seen stick and pokes. They look, they're definitely not the like art school idea of what a tattoo should look like.
Yeah. And I think like, I'm just like, the first tattoo should be, it's going to be something that I look at and it's going to inform whether or not I want future tattoos. And I just want it to look more professional.
Wait, what do you mean professional? Like I've been doing this for years.
Yeah, with a pen and some rubbing alcohol.
I mean, yeah, but like, it's like real, you know? Like it's like maybe it's not like always perfectly symmetrical or whatever, but like, I don't know.
Yeah.
You've said you liked my tattoos.
That matters. I like them on you.
If you don't want one, you don't have to get one, fam. We should just go to the party.
All right, perfect.
And I think, like, I like the idea that, like, I'm like, we should just go to the party and then we step out into the room and there's a moment when we're like, wait, the party is, like, not for a little bit. And then we don't really have a separate place to go. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. There's that kind of like awkward, we're just sort of like hovering.
Yeah.
I realized that I misspoke on one of the complications. It's actually 2 6s.
Oh, okay.
Which is you're feeling romantic.
Oof. I honestly, I think this is definitely Allison's idea of romance, whether it is Chaz's or not.
For sure.
This clearly means something to me.
And this is me saying something stupid of like shooting down this thing that is like obviously important to you.
Yeah.
This is me being like, you know, just the worst possible way to handle something that is like obviously important.
Yeah. I don't know. Do we want to call the scene on us just hovering there, or do you have more?
I kind of like it just hovering there because I think I want to cut to one thing later because there's one piece of the scene that I don't feel like is. Well, I guess let me ask you: do you feel like we've hit 3/4 of like you're offended and they're going to know about it?
Yeah. So I think we're just awkwardly hovering, and I think you sit down and you're just like trying to do something else, and I'm just like fuming about it for a little bit, right? And I'm like, I'm not having a good time. And I think like I interrupt you in the middle of like, I don't know, playing Smash. No, it's Banjo-Kazooie.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. Because Chaz doesn't strike me as the competitive gaming type. And
no, I don't think they're good. I don't think they're good at Smash, which means I don't think they like Smash.
Yeah, which, mood. And I like, and so I think I like walk in front of your game, and I'm just like, hey, can we like finish the conversation we were having? Like, you're like really, really shitty about these, and like you always say you like my tattoos, and like how like you'd want to get a tattoo someday, and I'm like, it's just important to me, and I know it's not like important to you, but like, and I don't necessarily have the words, but I'm like standing in front of your game, and I am just clearly upset.
And I think that like I kind of like try not to roll my eyes a little bit in just the worst, like meanest way. I kind of pan over and I'm like, you know what? You're right. It's important to you. So here, and I like put out the palm of my hand, and we kind of pan, like the camera pans a little bit, and present Chaz is sitting in like a recliner in the corner and looks at their hand with the stick and poke on it.
Oof.
And is like, okay. And like there's a moment of like tangible regret there, not that they got it, but that they look at it and like they clearly feel something. Like, they clearly feel, like, that emotional connection that they were throwing this big fit about, like, this should be emotional and this should be important. Like, they clearly look at this and realize, like, how absolutely obnoxious they sounded.
Yeah. Well, and, like, I don't know, I definitely think, like, there's clearly an element of Allison being pressuring here, right? And it's like...
Yeah, for sure.
Both sides are being shitty. Hashtag both sides.
Yeah.
Yeah, so are you, like, trying to remix this?
I think I want to remix this. I think I want to remix it. I want to take this 5 out. I want to take this 5 out. I don't want to, I think I don't want to shit talk a thing that's important to you. So I'm going to take this 5. And so this is a filter. DJ gradually fades out all the bass before crashing it back in. I'm going to roll this dice. That's a 5. All the 5s are removed. So I think what happens instead is you bring in, instead we see you bring in the alcohol and the pen, and like instead I just kind of sit and like I smile, and like as that's happening, like you tell me about like what you're drawing and what it means, and suddenly like and that's when we see me looking at my hand, right? Like it's this moment of like, if I had just shut up, you would have shared with me how important that moment is.
Yeah, and I'm gonna remove a 4. Because if you didn't say something stupid, I don't think I have as much to be offended about. I rolled a 3. What's the 4? That's distortion. On a roll of, yeah. So, increase that number of dice by 1 each. So that's a 3. How many dice are left in the pool?
There are 5 dice left in the pool.
So the 2 4s become, yeah, no, I think so the 1 becomes a 2.
Okay.
Like, instead of being buzzed and upset, we're kind of like we've like you've like put on some music and it's like a little moment, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I guess the 2 4s are kind of my only other option here, and it's like, because obviously you can't increase a 6.
Can I make a proposal here?
Yeah.
You do pressure me into getting a tattoo.
Oh.
Like, that feels pretty appropriate, that those 2 5s of, like, you say something awful. There is that moment of, like, in talking about this, like, I think there's a moment of, if you're cool with this moment happening, like, there's a moment of, like, you talk so much about this that you, like, never stop and really check in to see, like, if this is something, like, we never have that conversation of what Chaz wants in that moment.
Yeah. Oof. Yeah, for sure. So the pool is 2 5 5 6 6.
Yes.
Word.
Still isn't great, but I think that's a decent end to the scene of, like, we've remixed that to where it's, like, it ends in a very different place, which brings us to our next scene. Separation. We are physically separated, so the player of the love won't be contributing directly about their character. If the guest encounters any other characters, they can play them instead or contribute details about what's going on around the guest.
I was just going to say, I think we should split up as soon as we get to the actual party.
Oh yeah, right. We don't want anything to do with each other. This is an escape.
Yeah. And then, like, we roll. Because, like, we basically, like, moved in on the first date is functionally what happened.
Yeah, 100%.
We probably don't get that much time apart.
I rolled a 1 1 1 3 5 5 6.
Okay.
3 1s is too much, feel sick, hang on, hold my hair back. 2 5s is somebody saying something awful. A 3 is good people all around. And a 6 is not feeling it.
Which makes sense considering.
Yep. I think Chaz hand bandaged right? Like hand like overly bandaged, just blacks out. Just hits as many bottles as he can hit. They go hard and are just like just talking shit at this point, right? Like they don't even necessarily, no, they don't even directly talk shit. They talk about, they do exactly what we said they do earlier, which is they make shitty jokes. They make jokes about how little this tattoo means to them, and like it sucks real bad. And I'm not happy that they're doing it, but it feels right for what their separation looks like. Mm-hmm. What about Allison?
I think let me look at the complications pool for a second and consider my options. No, I think Allison I think you weren't feeling sex. I don't think that's true for Allison. And I think, like, you know, we're like kind of like tacitly agree to meet up with each other later. And I think there's a moment where you're like, you're drunk as shit, and you look over and you see me and Max dancing together.
Mm-hmm.
And we're having a really good time. It's the most you've really seen me smile in a while.
I walk immediately over. I think the end of the scene, if I may end this scene with a bomb, I walk over drunk as shit and like lean over to the both of you and I'm like, well, that's great. I thought, Max, I thought you said she was a plague that came upon our house.
Hell yeah. I'm down to cut the scene there.
I think that's the end of the scene. Like, I think it's just, it sucks.
Yeah.
It hurts. It's bad.
Yeah, no, that is something awful. Do you want to remix that?
Yeah, yes. Shockingly.
Yeah.
I'm taking out one of these 5s. I'm taking a 5. I'm going to put a filter on the scene. Oh shit. The DJ has dropped a siren or alarm sound in the mix and it shakes the guest out of their reverie. I rolled a 1, which means that the siren has shaken us out of the scene.
Oof. Yeah, I can definitely imagine not being able to think about that for very long.
And I think, like, yeah, I think that this, like, I'm seeing this, and I'm, like, I'm doing that crushing the solo cup thing again, and I'm just, like, I'm wincing, and then that siren hits, and I practically fall flat on my face.
Yeah. There's another, if the remix phase of a scene ends because one of the players triggered a siren, the player of the love narrates a short 1 or 2 sentence scene where the guest encounters a third character, known only as somebody in the real non-memory party.
They are attractive, interesting, and interested in the guest. They keep running into each other every time a siren goes off, and there's definitely something between the two of them.
Oof. Yeah. As you like kind of like come out of it, the art school girl that you saw me talking to earlier, she's got on like a long sleeve like black turtleneck kind of thing, and like she's wearing a scarf and beret. Like, she is going for the whole aesthetic, and she is way more your normal type than I am. And there's a moment where she just like sits down next to you, and you saw her talking to me, but like she didn't look at me the way she was looking at you.
Yeah. And
I think this scene fades there.
I think so, which means we go to our next scene, which is the breakup. We meet again. We see. I don't think there's a literal second between the last scene and this one. I think it just picks right the hell back up.
Just like smash cut, like she sits down, and then it's into the next thing.
Yeah, she sits down. It pans behind us, and the breakup is happening in front of us, right where it was earlier.
Oof.
I rolled 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 5, 5.
Oof. Okay.
2 2s is too many people, but they seem to be having fun. 2 3s is an irritating asshole has taken an interest in you. A 4 is you sound like you know what you're talking about. I don't like that. And 2 5s is you say something awful.
Real. This scene started, the last scene ended with you saying something. I definitely feel like the scene should just pick up with you saying that.
It absolutely does. And I'm going to take that irritating asshole has taken an interest in you, because we're spinning this into the worst possible version, which is you're dancing with Max, who I perceive as the most irritating asshole.
Yeah.
Well, yesterday we were best friends, but today he's an irritating asshole. And it's, oh, I didn't realize you two liked each other. That's great. Max, you called her a plague upon our house last time we had a meeting.
How does Max respond to this? Because I'm just like wide-eyed, like, I don't know what to say to this.
Max pauses, looks at you, looks at Chaz, looks at you, looks at Chaz. Arthur fists, right? Zoom in on the fist. Throws up his hands. Nope. I'm done. I'm out. This is between y'all. And, like, I just, the smuggest look, hands, arms crossed as he walks out, like, yeah, that's right, walk away.
What the fuck, fam? We're just hanging out.
I'm just happy that you two like each other. I'm happy that you've made peace with your roommates.
Yeah, I mean, you're always saying we should get along better, and then we finally do, and you're just like, did Max really say that? And
I lean in, I'm like, that's the nice version of what he said, yeah.
Jesus, I don't know what you were like thinking. We're just fucking dancing. I'm just like, I'm at a party. I haven't been to a party in a while. I'm just trying to like forget about shit. Can you just not?
There is a huge crowd of people watching this happen now. Like we have our space. They are giving us space, but like there is a crowd.
Oh yeah, we definitely start this fight in the middle of a break in the music.
Yeah, the DJ is now holding the record needle. I'm just saying it took you a really long time to get along with everybody, and it just really feels like there's a lot of strife between you and me and all the other roommates, so we should probably talk about some stuff long term as a group. We shouldn't have this conversation right now, so I'm gonna walk away and put some notes together for when we have our next meeting, which I guess you're invited to.
Jesus fucking Christ. Look, I probably would have left a lot earlier if I had anywhere to go. And then I think I just let you walk away.
Ooh, I really want to remix that.
Yeah.
I'm taking that. I'm going to take one of those threes. I don't think it was fair to be an asshole to Max. Maybe he was trying to make nice. Maybe he was actually interested in you. Either way, that seems positive, and it was just me lashing out, and that's not fair to anybody, so I'm rolling this 3.
Yeah.
I'm going to add some distortion to the scene. And that is a 2. So our remaining dice, let me grab our remaining dice. I'll put them in the chat. Our remaining dice are 2, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 5. I can up 2 of these by 1 dice. Oh, there's actually a really good option. I have an option that I really like.
Okay.
I'm going to up both of those 5s to 6s.
Ooh, okay. I see. So that's you're feeling romantic?
You're feeling romantic.
Chill.
And yeah. And I don't say anything stupid. I don't say anything awful. You're feeling romantic. I'm sitting and I'm talking with this somebody, and I'm watching and I'm talking, and I look up and I see me watching Max and Allison dance, and we make eye contact with each other past Chaz and present Chaz, and we both just shrug.
Fuck.
What are you gonna do?
Gosh, okay. So, what's in the pool currently?
2, 2, 3, 4, 6, 6.
Okay.
That is, for reference, too many people, but they seem to be having fun. Good people all around. You sound like you know what you're talking about, and you are feeling romantic.
I'm gonna remove a 2.
Okay.
Which will trigger gate. The tunes seem to flicker in and out like the sound is strobing with the lights. And I rolled a 4.
So you're going to remove 1 die from 4 categories.
Oh, okay. So 1 die from 4 categories. Which leaves, I take the other 2, a 3, a 4, and a 6. There's a 6 left.
Which leaves only not feeling it. I think in this, if I may I?
Yeah, of course.
I have a pitch. I think We are still supposed to meet up at this party, like privately, like we're supposed to kind of meet up, and we'd been talking about, hooking up at the party that we hooked up at a year ago. I think I'm just not there. And I guess the question is, how are you feeling about it in that moment?
I think at least in Chaz's flashback, right? Like you see, so I think like there's a quick shot of you like walking up to the room that we'd agreed on, looking at the door, and then just walking away. And then like after like it holds for a couple seconds, and then the door opens and it's me, and I'm like looking around, and I'm just like, and like I pull out my phone, and it shows that I'm texting Max. That's what happens. I think that whether or not I was actually doing anything like that, you still think I was.
Oh, for sure. And I think that's going to segue if you're cool ending the scene there, I'd love to segue directly into the end of the night.
So it does, so there is the after the remix phase where you see me at the party.
Oh, crap. Yes, you are right.
Yeah, because we're at the last thing, and the last die you remove doesn't trigger a plugin.
You are correct. So I see you. Where do you see me? Or where do we see each other? I'm on the couch talking to this somebody. I think you have to see me to balance it out a little bit.
Yeah. Oh, God. I mean, I was talking to this girl, right? I think, like, I just follow her over to the couch, and, like, you can just see my smile fade. And, like, there's a moment where, I walk over to you guys are talking, you look up at me, she doesn't notice, I walk away, and then, like, she follows your gaze, and I'm gone.
End of the night. We leave the party, probably not together, but maybe so. If we live together, there may be nowhere else for us to go. We have found some interesting possibilities to that equation. We might be furious at each other. It's entirely possible to play the scene without dialogue. I feel like this is going to be a pretty short scene. Because I think I'm going to roll our complications.
Yeah. I really like this phrase here, by the way. Like at the end of that, only describing your character's wistful silence as they watch the prosaic into the world, the love of their life pulling away in an Uber. I think of that phrase so often.
It's very beautiful.
Like, that was the thing that I posted that I was talking to Ollie on Twitter about.
That makes me very happy. So the dice I rolled are a 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 4, and 6.
Fuck.
6 is not feeling it. 4 is you're offended and they're going to know about it. 1, 3 is good people. 1, 2 is good tunes and room to dance. And 1 is you're a little buzzed but almost sober.
It seemed like you have an idea. I'm down to just let you take the lead on this one.
I think you get I think the scene as a whole is like you pull out your phone and you start to text, and like a message pops onto your phone, and it's like a 3-way group chat, and it's you, me, and Max. And it just says, "Hey, I'm sorry. I'm not going to get in the way." And like you read that and you look up and you see my car driving off.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything I can add to that.
I think that might be it. And then do we want to remix this?
I honestly, I think it's perfect, but like...
All right.
And then we just go into the epilogue?
Yeah, I don't feel like I have anything for that one. So yeah, we go into the epilogue.
After the final scene ends and the sun begins to rise, total the amount of times the guest encounters somebody, 1, and the amount of times they saw their love, 2. If they saw somebody more times, they leave the party with them. It's absolutely not love, but maybe they can forget with them that they knew their love at all. If they saw their love more times, which they did, the two meet properly as the first rays of sunlight bathe the house in warm light. They might not get back together, and certainly not right now. But perhaps there's hope. Perhaps.
I don't even know if I have a scene for that. That might just be game.
I've got something.
Hit me.
So I look up, and so I look up in the past, and I see you driving away, and like it's a quick cut to outside. Your car in the past pulls away, But like your car, so your car in the past pulls away. It drives a little bit, and then it like the spot where it is, like I walk out in the future, and I'm like out for a smoke break or something, and I think you're like, and I'm just standing in this spot. I don't know necessarily that it's where you would have parked. And I think, like, you're walking to your car, which is just a little bit from here. And you see me, and there's just a moment where, like, we look at each other, and I just kind of, like, I offer you a cigarette, and I say, hey, I'm sorry.
And I think I take the cigarette, and I light it. I have you light it. I don't have a lighter. You light it, and I kind of pause for a moment, and I'm like, yeah, me too.
That's game.
And that's game. Wonderful. So good. Very loved it. Goddamn.
Yeah.
How you feeling?
Pretty good. I fucking love this game.
It's really good.
Like I said, it is one of my favorite games. It is an inspiration for a lot of the stuff I write. This is definitely more gamey than a lot of stuff I've written at this point, but like, I don't know, just like the writing and the feelings.
It's real good.
And I want to say, Ollie, if you're listening to this podcast and you haven't put this game on itch by the time this goes live, you should fucking do that. Please. I need it in my life.
As the host of the show, I believe I have the executive authority to demand this, and to say I'm issuing an executive order to Ollie, who I'm pretty sure listens to this show on the regular. You have to put this on itch. You have to. It's an order now. It was put on the podcast, which means you have to do it. Sorry, there's nothing else I can do about that. That's just podcast law.
And unlike regular law, podcast law is real.
It's true. Well, thank you so much for playing with me. This was such a fucking blast.
Yeah, thank you for having me. This is a very hard game to convince people to play with me.
I can see why, but I loved every minute of it, and this is exactly my shit, so thank you for suggesting it.
Yeah, the friend that I played this with the first time, I asked if she wanted to play it again, and we'd already played Starcross a few times, and she's just like, Steph, I'm sorry, but I can't keep breaking up with you like this.
So real quick, before we wrap up, where can people find you and your work online?
Yeah, so my Bandcamp is garlicbreadandroses.bandcamp.com. I have an album called Sad Bottom Music, and I feel like that's everything you need to know. My games can be found at garlicbreadandroses.itch.io. Also very sad. And my Twitter is Gojnana, GOOJNANAA, and my Cash App is the same. Hit me up.
All right. Well, thank you so much for doing the show. This was a blast and a half, and for now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the past so that he can wrap up with the show. No? For now, I'm going to throw it over to me in the future so that he can wrap up with the show. Take a future me. Thanks, past me. And thanks again to Steph for coming on to the show. That game was... what a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful game. It was intense. It was intense to play through. It was intense to edit, and it's intense to listen through, but like, God, it was such a beautiful, beautiful, heartfelt game that like, I'm so happy that we played it. Be sure to check out their game design work at garlicbreadandroses.itch.io. I'm a particularly big fan of Ellen Mortal Unmasked in the Vain Event, which is a game that she wrote as a sort of cover song of my game of the same name, and they took it in a really beautiful direction in like a very different space, and they made a very different game of it that kind of explores some of the same themes in a very different direction, and it's incredible. It's very, very good, and I very much want to play it on the show at some point. Steph, if you're listening to this, we're going to make that happen. Also, be sure to head to garlicbreadandroses.bandcamp.com because Steph's music also rips, and be sure to follow Steph on Twitter at Gujnana. Then while you're on Twitter, follow us at Party of One Pod. Join our Discord community at bit.ly/Party of One Discord and head to our merch store at bit.ly/Party of One Merch. Support the show financially at patreon.com/JeffStormer or Ko-fi.com/JeffStormer. And if you enjoy the show, consider leaving us a nice iTunes review or a social media shout out or a Podchaser review. They help the show climb up rankings, and more importantly, they send a little email to my inbox that makes me smile. You can also consider supporting the other podcast that I produce every week, All My Fantasy Children, which is a character creation, storytelling, and world-building podcast on the One Shot Podcast Network, where every week, my best friend Aaron Catano says, and I take a listener-submitted prompt, we spin it into an original fantasy character and populate a shared universe one story at a time. New episodes drop every Friday-ish at oneshotpodcast.com. Now, Party of One is produced and edited, as always, by Jeff Stormer and Jen Frank. All music for the show comes from the song Infinite Lives by Mega Ran featuring the D&D Sluggers, and the Party of One logo is by Evan Rowland. If you would like to inquire about advertising rates, coming on the show as a guest, or about press coverage of the show, you can email me at partyofonepodcast@gmail.com. And I think that's all we do here, so until next time, thank you so much for listening. Remember to fight the forces of fascism every single day. Remember that self-love and self-care are radical and defiant acts of resistance, and as always, party on, everybody.